All right, folks, let's get through the syllabus here. These short videos are really designed to get you indoctrinated into what the class is about, what the expectations are, how are you gonna succeed in it throughout the semester. I'm not going to read every word in this thing. I'm going to just direct you to certain areas here. So I do recommend that you click on the link below where it says syllabus here. If you click on the syllabus, it'll download to your desktop, open it up, and then follow along. It's your responsibility to read this and understand it. If you have any questions when we're done, just send me an email. Here's my information again, name of the course. What the course is, we're going to watch what we call a short film this week. It's online, so you don't have to have the first film in your hand this week. Yet the first module is a simple version of the modules that are going to come to you for the rest of the semester. After that, it is your responsibility to get these films. I'm recommending that you do it through Netflix. You have to do the DVD subscription. You have to have a way to play DVDs, obviously, or Blu-rays. It's up to you. The DVD system in Netflix is the best one because I know the films are available. I keep track of that throughout the semester. And two, today you can go into Netflix, sign up for the subscription. You can go and find all these films and you can load them up in your queue, what they call a queue, Q-U-E. You put them in the right order. They're going to ship out the first two to you right away. And in that, you'll have next week's film. From there, once you get done watching that first film, drop it in the mail. Netflix will automatically give you credit the minute the post office reads that barcode, and they will send to you the next film. So that is the best, easiest way to make sure that you have the films each and every week. All right. There is a backup if you get messed up for some reason, forget to order a film. I do have the films available in the Santa Ana College library. However, they're under the reserve. You cannot check them out of the building, so you have to watch the film there. People do it. It's a great backup plan, but I don't think it's an ideal plan unless you have a lot of downtime on campus. Then by all means, do this. So one of the things that I need to clear up kind of right away is what the class is not. People see film, they love film, they think that we're gonna watch a lot of films, like if we were going to the films on cinema on Friday night. That's not what this class is at all. We disdain Fast and Furious. What are they up to? 800 now, 600. This class is about decoding, analyzing film, and breaking that down and looking at those elements in an academic way. So the films are already picked. There's no substitutes unless you have a moral objection to one of them based on violence or language, and then you have to get a hold of me well in advance, and then I'll find another one. But for most people, 99% of the folks here, you're going to watch the films that I picked. You're going to watch them in the order that I picked, and that's done on a weekly basis. You're going to hear this throughout the whole first week and second week. Once a module closes, Friday at 5 p.m., it's done. It's over with. There's no way that you can get back in and capture those points again. So you really need to follow along and stay with us for all 16 weeks. I am going to ask you to do critical analysis. I'm going to give you terms to use. You're going to use these terms, and you're going to provide input, not your opinion, but input in the discussion boards. That's where we do most of this work. This is not a class about whether you like or don't like a film. You're going to see films that you wouldn't normally watch. That's part of being in a college class. And it's not designed to elicit a like or dislike response from you. it is an opportunity for you to go in and say, I don't understand the structure. I don't like this structure. I don't understand what they're doing here. Those are all fair critiques, but they have to be within the structure that I provide you. Really important, just mention this, there are no extra makeup exams, there's no makeup papers, there's no extra credit in the class other than the first 2 weeks, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. But this happens every semester, even though I say this every semester, I still will get people that say, I'm 20 points away from a B. Can I write a paper? My answer is always, always no. I'm sorry, you can't. That's the way this course is designed from the beginning. And part of the success in the course is keeping up with it each and every week. This is how you get a hold of me. Here's the disclaimer. If you take a look at the films, you can do a quick search on what they're about. If you're going to have an issue with some of the content, then you need to reach out to me and I'll find a supplemental film for you. But the things that I'll look for in that film, as I do every week, is pretty specific and not generally associated just with the content. Attendance in an online class, you have to log in, you have to participate, you have to take your quiz, you have to fill out the discussion boards the way that I'm asking you to. All that adds up to your attendance. And if you miss 2 of those, including the first week, if you don't participate, then I'm required to drop you from the course. Deadlines, here you go, you're going to get tired of hearing this. It's a weekly course. That's it. The time that you have to earn that week's points is from a Friday to a Friday, with the exception of this week. Our course doesn't open officially until Monday, and all of this is due on Friday. The next 15 weeks, you'll have 7 days to complete it. Once it's closed, it's closed. There is an outside time commitment. When I teach this class face-to-face, it's a long lecture class where I will play the film in the course, but all the work that we have to do is before and after that. It's a really long class. You can break this up. One of the things that I recommend that you do is get started at the beginning of the week, see what's going on in the module, what's required of you, and then when you have time, watch the film, and then come back either right away after the film or the next day, and now do your assignment. So you can break this up over a week. The big thing that I recommend is you carve out time regularly every week to do it just like a class. That's the best way to ensure that you're going to do this each and every week. Can't tell you how many people you log on and you see 5 minutes before 5 on a Friday, they're trying to get everything done. That's just dangerous. If you have a technical problem, sorry, you're not going to get your points that week. Cheating. It's an online course. I'm not sitting over your shoulder to make sure that you watch the film or where you're finding the information that you're finding it besides the resources that I've pointed out to you. There's just a million ways to cheat in this kind of thing. If I find out that you're cheating on something, I'll do everything I can to bounce you from the course. That's how serious it is. Everything that I need you to do is contained within these modules on these screens, with the exception of watching the film. This class is really pretty simple to get through. If you click on every page in the module, you either watch the video or read the assigned text, and then participate in the quiz and the discussion board. Everybody that does that and does it every week succeeds in this class. Special needs, if you have them, get a hold of me. I've been really successful in getting a bunch of people through. I'll do what I can to help, to modify. You tell me what you need. But you have to get a hold of me. It's not the kind of thing that you want to wait till the midterm and then tell me you're having an issue. So get out in front of that. Here's the Netflix thing. I explain how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. You just have to go in, log in, open a subscription. If you already have a streaming one, go back into your settings and add the DVD subscription. Then the films are listed here in order in this document. Put them in. You're all set. I have a whole separate section just on how you earn points, but let's take a look at that now. I say that there's no extra credit. There's no extra credit that's built outside of this class, but built into this class, I do something that's a little bit different than other people. The first 2 weeks are bonus weeks. They're practice weeks. If you go in and you do the work that's assigned to you on both the quiz and the discussion board for this week and next, regardless of the score that you get later in the semester in week 3 or 4, I'll go back in and I'm going to bump everybody up to the full 50 points. That's how much you get in a week's module, okay? And then in week 3, now if you add up these points, there's the 1,000 points that are required in the course. So if you add up the bonus weeks, you actually have a potential of 1,100 points if you're starting from the beginning and you do the assignments in week 1 through 16, okay? Now, what that is this is why I don't do extra credit. That's your bonus pool, that's your bank, all right? So if you run into a situation where another class is demanding they have you double up your hours at work for a week, once you have those 100 points, you can miss a week. You can even miss 2 weeks if it's one of these weeks with a 50-point earnings for the points. All right. So this becomes your pool of extra points. You'll see it in your grades after week 3. And then this accommodates things when life just gets in the way of a semester, and it often will. So a little bit different. It's probably the first time that you've run into something like this, but it's my way of accommodating things that happen in the semester. And this takes care of when I say no extra credit, no extra papers, no extra films. That's because I'm giving those to you in the first 2 weeks. And it gives you time to see how I'm asking questions, how a module works before we actually get going. Okay? So there is a video that goes into that a little bit more detail, but that's the crux of it. Here's the films that we'll watch. We have 16 weeks. You have the short film this week. That's online. It's on YouTube. I have a link to that, so you don't have to worry about it. But for next week, you need this film. It's called Amelie. It is a French film. It's readily available. And if you put these in order in Netflix, they start shipping to you automatically. You'll be perfectly fine. You will notice that of the 16 weeks, we have 16 films. So you have one every week. And then if you notice here in week 8 and 16, it's grayed out. And that grayed out portion is because on week 8, that's your midterm. On week 16, that's your final. And look here, it's worth 4 times a regular module. You need to put these dates into a calendar. You need to make sure that this week you do not miss. There's just too many points associated with the midterm and the final to miss. Now, what do we do in the midterm? You have a film that week. The questions, the quiz for that week is embedded in the midterm, all right? So the midterm is going to be a collection of all the quiz questions from 1 and including that week's film 8. And then for the final, we reset this, and then it'll be all the films from 9 through 16. We'll do it again. So the semester is kind of broken into 2 separate pieces there, yet the content and the things that we use and talk about remain the same throughout the 16 weeks. All right, does that make sense? I hope it does. There's your points. How's a module work? I got a whole video on that, but you can basically see here what it is. how you earn your points, and you're all set to go. So that's the syllabus. If you have any questions, please send me an email. I'm happy to help explain something that's not covered here. With that, move ahead, next page. Thanks.